What's up, guys? It's McNulty here. Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you guys have all managed to clean some roster space out after the Soul Exchange and you're ready for the Super Elemental quest. So we've got the Ice Super Elemental quest, which has come around again. So we have got a couple of new heroes in the portal, which we're going to have a look at today. And I'm pleased to say they're carrying on the theme where we've got a 4-star hero in here as well. The fake Johnny Depp. So we're going to have a look at him today, and we're also going to have a look at Quinn. So let's get started with the 5-star, this pineapple wielding pirate of the 7 galaxies. He looks absolutely awesome. So we're going to have a look at Quinn today. Let's see what he's all about. Now, first of all, of course, he's going to be an ice hero. This is the Ice Super Elemental. It'd be weird if he was anything else. He is of the Cleric class, which is a great class because he gets the Mana Shield, which is a chance to resist negative mana effects and effects that prevent the use of special skills. It is a really good skill, especially for healers, and I believe Quinn is going to be a healer. So he's going to be feeding your team some pineapples and keeping them alive. Now, in terms of the family bonus, they've got this Super Elemental family bonus where they spawn power gems each turn. And they can have up to 5 power gems on the board at any one time. Like I've said before, that family bonus does actually come into play quite a bit, and those power gems stay on the board even after the hero dies. So you've got to watch out for them, and you've got to match them in order to make them disappear. They can be damaging your team every turn, so it can be really annoying. They have the troop damage modifier, so don't forget about that one either. So the troops they have deal 100% extra elemental damage against the weaker element, which is a really, really good bonus. So I do like that bonus for these super elemental heroes. Now, in terms of stats for Quinn, he's looking at 902 on his attack. Pretty respectable. 968 on the defense, which is really good, and 1732 on the health. So he is super survivable. He is going to stick around for a while, and he's going to be able to what's the word I'm looking for, support your team in a very good way with those kind of base stats. Now, his special skill is Pineapple Barbecue, which sounds really awkward and not that tasty. I mean, he's got a banana on the barbecue as well. I've never done a banana on the barbecue. I might go with a pineapple, but I think a banana might be taking it a step far. Anyways, he is running at fast speed, which is great. And at fast speed, he's going to be boosting the health of all allies by 400. Boosted health, of course, can exceed max HP. And all enemies are immune to new status effect buffs for 3 turns. That is a pretty decent skill. So instead of like an ailment immunity like Hathor, he's doing the same amount of boosted health, except he is preventing the enemy team from receiving buffs for 3 turns. Now, he doesn't dispel any existing buffs, but he stops them from getting any new ones. And that is a pretty decent effect. Now, all fire enemies, we've got this split against all of the different elements here. So fire enemies get minus 38% accuracy for 3 turns. Dark enemies get minus 38 mana generation for 3 turns. Holy enemies get minus 38 defense for 3 turns. And nature enemies get minus 38 attack for 3 turns. Now, I have said this before. Initially, if you get this hero, it's going to feel extremely confusing because you're not going to know what ailments each enemy is going to get. But I'm sure that after a while playing with him, you'll remember if it's a fire enemy, he's going to get negative accuracy. If it's a dark enemy, he's going to get negative mana generation. So I'm not mad at that. I do kind of like this skill. And then obviously the chance to miss applies to special skills. I thought there was going to be some kind of extra effect against one of the elements, but they're all a negative 38% effect. Do I think one's better than the other? Not particularly. I think maybe the attack down's not one of the greatest, but all of those ailments are definitely gonna help your team. And he is a healer. He is running at fast speed, and he gives a nice health boost. That immunity to status effect buffs can come in extremely handy if you think about the kind of meta heroes that we're facing at the moment. I think for the top alliances, the main tanks are going to be the Grandma Ninja, Mayo and Ni. She can be stopped with this effect. You've got the new Green War of Three Kingdoms guy who can be, I mean, you take his dodge straight away with this guy. You've got heroes like Ludwig. You've got heroes like Aramis. They all hit and they give buffs. So having that immunity to new status effect buffs for 3 turns gives you an additional element of control, which I think is fantastic. So he's pretty straightforward, pretty basic, but also quite complex in a way, and he is actually a really good hero. So I'm stoked on Quinn, and he looks incredible. I mean, he's just going to make you smile every time you open up his card, so that is a reason enough to like this guy. With the limit breaks and second limit breaks as well, so if you give him some alpha ethers, he's going to have the counter attack ether talent. Now the counter attack is not necessarily one of the best ones. Initially I thought it was going to be, but it can be dispelled, and the counter attack is, let's see, it's a smaller percentage, I think 60%. It's not bad, but it's not as impactful as some of the other ether talents, but don't let that put you off. Quinn is an excellent hero, so congrats if you do manage to grab this guy. Now let's find my friend, the 4-star Linus, who definitely looks like Johnny Depp. I mean, tell me that guy does not look like he's just stepped out of Pirates of the Caribbean. I think there might be some kind of copyright claim in the works here, but anyway, so Linus, he's going to be a 4-star hero. He's going to be of the fighter class, which is cool because it gives him the chance to revive. So we do like that talent quite a bit. Now, if we move on to his stats, obviously we've got the same family bonus and same passives. We won't go over those again. But if I take the max power preview off, we're looking at 692, 677, and 1226. Those stats don't necessarily mean a great deal because especially if you're going to be using him in wars, you want to know how he's going to compare to the big boys. So if we do add the limit breaks where he only needs 3 ethers, which is not a huge amount, you're looking at 966 attack. Now we're talking 968 defense. Again, now we're talking, and 1662 on the health, which is great. So I would say give this guy your alpha ethers and he's going to be able to compete at the top levels. He is of the right class as well, and he does benefit from the rage ether talent, which is actually one of the best ones, because at the start of the battle he gets increased attack and a further increase every time he gets hit for the first 6 turns. So that does absolutely help from the beginning of the battle. Now the special skill is the Shackles of the Sea. We can see he's got the shackles there. I think he might be a prisoner, but he's just used to being a prisoner because, you know, he's always getting into all kinds of trouble. So let's get him back for a sec. So the Shackles of the Sea, it deals 315% damage to the target. Now, if there are 6 or more ice shields on the board, damage is dealt to the target and nearby. And if there are 12 or more ice shields on the board, damage is dealt to all enemies. So this potentially can be a hit all for 315% damage running at fast speed. And 315% damage is quite a lot. Pardon me. Now, to put this guy into perspective, if I was to just open up, let's just open up my roster here. I know. So we've got Costume Collins. So he hits extremely hard. Now you can look at these stats. This is with the first limit break. It's, 1,000 attack. And he deals 285% damage to the target and nearby. But this guy's running at slow speed. And that hit is brutal. I'm telling you now, that hit is absolutely brutal. So I think that this hero that we've got here, this Johnny Depp looking mofo, Linus, is actually going to be extremely impactful. That 315 damage is going to hurt, and having 6 or more ice shields on the board is going to happen quite often. Maybe the 12 won't happen quite as frequently, but he's like a 4-star version of Roz, and they haven't held anything back. He's still got the same kind of special. He's at the same speed. But he and with the second limit breaks, I would say he can be dealing a truckload of damage. I think that you would want to limit break this guy in order to be able to get the most out of him. And I think that where he's going to be most impactful, I mean, he could be on defense in any 4-star team for any tournament. He's going to hold his own because that damage is high. I mean, for bloody battle, he'd be fine. Maybe not so much for rush, but his hit is still good potentially. So this is a great 4-star hero, actually. I'm quite stoked about this guy, and I'm hoping that I do grab him from this portal. So guys, we have got 2 really good super elemental heroes in this portal. The other featured hero, Anzia, she hasn't sort of come on leaps and bounds. I mean, she's counter-attack hero. You know, the damage of the counter-attack increases per ice shield on the board. It's kind of like a costume Cyprian effect, but the damage reduction she only gets with the second ether talent. So she hasn't really been used quite as much, and I can say I'd much rather have this guy from the same class than Anzia. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say on these new heroes. I wish you guys all of the best in your summons, and please do drop us a like, subscribe, and send me your comments and tell me what you think of Quinn and Linus. Linus? Jesus, I can't get his name right, but tell me what you think of these new super elemental heroes, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Bye for now, guys.